running basic rotations isn't enough because everyone, for the most, like most people for the most part, know how to do that, and
Yeah,
so it's about like doing it better than they are.
right.
Um, yeah, I guess like first I'm kind of what's like what would you say is like the rough loop or rotation for support and tank roles? Because at this point they're starting to get really good, and I don't think I understand those like well enough to be able to adjust my play style or my gameplay to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, so
Like
elaborate on which ones
yeah,
are kind of giving you a difficulty then, just a little bit.
right. Okay, so I've written some stuff down. Okay, so this is more like con specific, but uh like I've been having a lot of trouble with dive, um or sorry, anti-dive. When
Yeah.
they have like an Amor or Moon Knight. If I try to take like flanks or off angles, like the supports are really good with peeling. Like they notice almost instantly. The
Yeah.
tanks, like the tanks will respond like immediately as well. So like I don't have very much of a window to pull like the usual off angle stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like Death Ball's another example. Like if they have like a Strange, Magneto, Punisher, Bucky, like everyone's always together. It's like just sticks people in a Death Ball. Like
Right.
I can't get in to do much. Um, yeah, and yeah, like actually coordinated dive comps. Like when they're diving our backline, I mean, like if I stay behind to go anti-dive, I'm not putting
Yeah.
pressure on their
Yeah.
backline. If I go put pressure on the backline, then our backline's getting destroyed. So like things like that.
Okay, okay. So this is like a classic problem that a lot of Sombra players, a lot of Tracer players, this is just a flanker problem in general, where it's like, what do I do when the assassination cycles and like my dueling is just getting disturbed? You have to kind of understand the difference between distraction and actual deaths in terms of securing value. So if I'm actually getting kills, that's obviously value. Nice job. Congratulations. Well done. Pat yourself in the back. However, as you get in higher ranks, as you've noticed, people are not only more likely to peel and recognize you, but there's also a lot of situations where they might actually just straight up not even let you have the angle that you want, period. So you got to decide, do I want to play my own backline? Do I want to still kill forcing backline? Well, the answer is neither. Neither. This is where you get into the very fundamentals of what it means to actually take space in a first-person shooter, which is for me to poke backline, I want to take an angle. For me to assassinate or poke backline, okay? For me to poke frontline, I want to take an angle. So if I take the angle to poke backline or go for frontline or whatever, and there's somebody on that angle fighting me, my responsibility is to beat them in that 1v1. If I beat them in the 1v1, then congratulations, feel good, pat yourself in the back, excellent job. If I don't beat them in the 1v1, grab cover, rinse and repeat, try again. That's it. If you are playing Tracer and you run into a Cassidy, you have to beat the Cassidy. You have to fight the Cassidy. If you are playing Psylocke and you run into a Wolverine or an Iron Man or another Psylocke or a Winter Soldier, you either need to take a different angle entirely or you have to beat them in the 1v1. Because if you don't take that 1v1, then they have an angle onto your backline. So what ends up happening, this is like I always call this the rank up Tracer problem, where I'll coach a bronze Tracer, take an angle, go for backline. Okay, great job. Nice job. They come to me when they're gold. Spiral, this isn't working. I start running into people that are on the angles. Yes, beat them. Like people are getting smarter. They know that the value of angles, they know the value of assassinations. They don't have their monitors off. But when you distract people and you contest space, that is still value. Now, I know you have stealth, so it feels like, oh, I can just skip the staging process. Kind of, sort of, but also not always. Like, it's only 3 seconds, right? So there's going to be a lot of times where you start to set up and you're going to run into somebody, and your priority is just to beat them in the 1v1. And by beat them, I'm going to be very clear. I'm not saying you have to kill them either. That's the funny thing. You just need to force more resources. Right. Force support, force their cooldowns, clear them out, make it a 2v1, and then you just need to live, and then now your tank line is winning the trade, right? That's all it really is, right? That's all it really is. So basically, you've gone to a point now where people are not brain dead. They're going to contest their angles. They're going to look at you. But that doesn't mean that your value is gone. It just means that the value is more of the threat of what you could do and less of you actually doing it, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot less sexy because it's like, oh, I could just dunk on bronze lobbies or gold lobbies or platinum lobbies. They don't even know I'm there. But the reality of the situation is that's just how it's going to work in every situation. And you're just going to have to live with that. That's basically all there is to it.
Yeah. So I guess I'm somewhat aware of that. like we went through this in our last session too. It's just like value is not always getting kills. It's
Uh-huh.
just burning resources or attention. But it also feels like at times, I'll accept that, and I won't just like tunnel in on like, trying to get a kill. But like some players are just so fucking good at like resetting. Like even after that, let's say we engage, neither of
Yeah.
us dies,
Yeah.
and then I have to go like heal or like regroup my team, and then like they're back within it feels like just a few seconds, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like very often like we're still losing. Like you get like a lot of these like Black Panthers that are just like cracked, right? And
Yeah.
so they come into the back line. I mean, I can't fucking do anything, right? Like,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
best,
yeah,
I can maybe like shoot
and
once or twice. And
that should be your answer about whether you should be sitting in your backline. Whether the answer is almost basically never.
right, because it's not like I can make a difference.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right. The best that you could do is contest the angle as they're setting up, right, and poke them out as they're doing this, or force their resources earlier. That's pretty much all you can do.
And,
But yeah, continue.
and so if this is like a situation, like let's say I okay for the most part I have come to a similar conclusion where
Uh huh.
I'll just try and continue like with their backline while mine's getting destroyed and just hoping that I can do better. In a situation where they're the ones to destroy my backline like first every single time, like is that just a game where like I like no matter what, like I can't really control the outcome. Like I just have
Yeah.
to accept that
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
just gonna
Probably.
lose that.
Again, the
Okay.
question also comes down to like I know that every map probably has two angles to come at from backline, but you always have to ask where is that Black Panther coming from? Is he literally in your spawn? You know what I'm saying? Or is he coming in from the
Times,
side?
yeah.
At times, right?
But
So
right,
if
yeah.
he's literally in your spawn, then maybe there's not a whole lot that he could do about it because there is a lot of downside to playing in people's spawn. Like you have literally no help from your supports at all. But if he's coming from the left lane or the right lane, you can choose that lane and fight him for it.
Mhm.
Now, I would never. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I would ever purposefully go around and chase somebody literally in my backline. Maybe I would. I don't know. But like that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, I know in Rivals there's a lot like super hyper mobile duelists that maybe can just live in your backline. And then there's some situations where if you feel like that's the play, that's fine. But you got to be really careful that you're not overly chasing people that are in your backline if you can't keep up with them, right? Because
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
can't,
for sure.
you just can't. That's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
My
we'll look at it in the codes. But yeah, keep going.
yeah. My solution like thus far is like I've started like being forced to like switch off.
Yeah.
Like if there's like really aggressive dive on their side, like I'll just switch to like I don't know, like Squirrel Girl or
Okay.
like Scarlet Witch, and that
Sure.
tends to help.
Okay.
But there's also times where like you meet like a just like a fucking server admin and
Yeah.
like yeah are those times like is it just just accept that it's happening,
Yep.
and like
Yep. Yep. Yep.
do your
Well,
best, and if it's not enough then it's not enough and that's fine.
it's not enough. It's still a learning process. You could still develop your mechanics. You can still, but yeah, there might just be write-offs. And the other thing they have to understand as well is that's going to happen a lot with this game, just based off of the nature of the rank system, which is fundamentally not competitive, because you're going to be playing versus frauds and you're going to be playing versus Smurfs pretty much every other game, based off of how the win rates are calculated. Like if you play enough ranked, you can get to literally almost like you could basically a plat player can be grandmaster. That's just how it is if you play enough games. So the question is do they have the plat player or do you have the plat player? That's pretty much how it is. So that just means that a lot of your games are going to feel very volatile. That's how it is. I've lost games in
Yeah.
Rivals when I went 56-2 on Winter Soldier. I've lost games because my entire team was literally negative and I went 50. I know this is not an exaggeration. I would literally kill 2 or 3 and we lose. Kill 2 or 3 and we lose. We kill 2 or 3 and we lose. That just happened. I've never seen that happen, but that's how the rank system is designed. So if you enjoy it enough and can tolerate it, then knock yourself out. If you don't, then it's just not the game.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
It's not. You just have to do that. Maximize your output. Do the best that you could do in terms of controlling the battlefield and applying pressure, and then that's all you really can do. You can't worry anything more about that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I promise you. I mean, you know this obviously, but there will be moments where we're going to look at this and review and be like, okay, this is what you could have been doing better. This was a missed opportunity there. This is where maybe you could have quote unquote defended that angle and helped your backline out. Like we'll get there. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Qu- questions since last time. So like you've obviously experimented with a lot of stuff, and obviously you have improved at some of these things as well. What have you noticed improvements at? What have you feel like you've struggled with? Are there any other questions that have come since then?
Yeah, I think by far the biggest improvement is rather like as a consequence of just like being more conscious of rotations and
Yeah,
cooldown management. Like I just die a lot less.
sure,
Um, yeah, like climbing like most games, like my KD's been insane. Like I'll die maybe I don't know, like max like four or five
sure,
times.
sure.
A lot of games where just I won't die at all, and that's helped a lot of uptime, obviously. Um, but like as the games have gotten more difficult, and I'm playing against better and better players, like yeah, I've noticed basically like I don't get free off angles anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
so some of what I've tried is like well just taking an even wider angle or
Sure.
trying to win the duel. And when I
Yes.
can win the duel, then it's like not a problem. But very often, like I'm up against someone that's just like crap,
Right.
and so best I can do is just like either try and pressure them or avoid them and take a different angle. But you know, I've been like getting put in a lot more games with like three stacks as
Mm-hmm.
well, and that's also made things like somewhat difficult because people are way more coordinated.
Yep.
Um, Oh yeah, like one thing that was like like free wins was just like waiting for like supports at lower ranks like they'll just like both ult at the same time and then
Yep.
it's just like open season.
Yep.
Now like people stagger it a lot more often. They're much more like conscious of like when and when not to use it, and so like I've adjusted by like even if I know they have support ult, I'll just if I can single isolate one person, then fuck it, like I'll burn it right there. Uh, and that can work. But a lot of the times, like my internal timing for when they get support ults might even be off. Like sometimes, like oh, their cloak and dagger or Luna just ulted, like, and then I'll wait a little bit, and then like I'll use my ult, and then oh shit, like they have it up again, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, listen, it's the same thing with you complaining about, not complaining, but frustrated about the server admin. Welcome to Rivals. Like, this is how the game. Now
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen the patch notes for tomorrow. That's going to help a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit with that, but that's it's still the nature of how support ults are going to be. So I think that your idea to either maybe make them make a mistake and force two, or find an isolated target and force some cooldowns, maybe get a kill and force a support ult. That's good too. That's good too. You're just gonna have to like you're basically describing limitations that there are no solutions to that you aren't already aware of.
yeah. Um,
The
I
only
mean,
thing
I've tried.
yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no. I want to hear what you were gonna say
I
first.
was going to say the only thing that I can maybe help you with a little bit. This is more of a micro detail. You might already know the tech, but you do consistently dash up into your ultimate. That might help you with.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I was
yeah,
going to
yeah.
say that's a big one. So just because it's going to still force a support ult, but at least you're probably not going to die during the cast, right? Just a little detail.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say like I've started to like watch more like high level player, like spectate more high level player play, and there's some things I've been trying to incorporate. Some stuff just not available to me because just
Sure,
like mechanically it's like insane. But
sure.
yeah, I've noticed like uh yeah, they're a lot. This is something I've been trying to practice, which is like even like somehow even tighter rotations with fewer resources. So like sometimes they wouldn't even wait for all their cooldowns. It'll just be like they have one dash, and then they'll just go and set up, or they'll burn invisible, the invis to get in position to
Yep.
assassinate because otherwise it's like impossible for them to get up close up being seen and
Yes.
reacted to immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so that's like
But they
stuff I'm like,
Right, but they
yeah,
know their limits. Like they're like, okay, I don't need my whatever to set up here because I can just dash up, or I've got a good angle where I can't get pushed. Right, so it's like, it's knowing,
yeah,
like you
yeah,
said, it's maximizing your uptime, and not like locking. Because that's the thing with like stealth and dash, like they're disengage and engage tools. Right, it's really
yeah,
situational
for
about when
sure.
you use which and when you use. And honestly, sometimes you could even have neither. Right, it just depends. Right, like you could even use your ultimate.
Yeah.
Um, as a way to buy you an extra 3 or 4 seconds so that you can get another
Yeah,
dash
yeah,
back,
yeah.
right? So there's
I'll
so
do that
much
sometimes.
that you could do with it. Yeah, but yeah, you're looking at the right things.
Yeah. I'm gradually pushing the boundaries of that. But yeah, obviously, like generally, like having the original system is like a good foundation, and just like figuring out how far I can push that.
Yeah.
That's like a process.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, I guess, since then, since you've practiced? How's your practice schedule going?
Uh, Pretty good. I had like this last week. I was away on like a work trip, so couldn't really do
Yeah, of
much.
course.
But leading up to it, yeah, it was like pretty good. Do like maybe like 2 3 hours a day.
Sure.
And then try and like focus on like one or two things per game.
How's that
Um,
going?
Really good actually. Like that was probably one of the best bits of advice. That you gave me was uh yeah, I'm just like able to more consciously kind of like think through what exactly it is I'm doing. I will say like it, like right now, like while I'm playing at like some of the higher ranks, I do slip up a lot more. Like it takes a lot more like mental focus to like do certain things, and so I will forget like, oh, like I need to get out, or the rotation's done, like set up on like a different angle, or I'll be doing, like I'll be setting up, and then like something surprising happens where like yeah, like I meet like one of their flankers or two of them at the same time, and then that's like a new situation. So yeah, a lot of those.
Okay. Okay. Now, in terms of like hero swapping, is that something you've experimented more, or is it just more of a that's on my table, but for right now, I just want to still lock in Psylocke?
Well, yeah, I mean, ideally, like, I'm in it with a mindset of like, if other people can figure out how to make Psylocke work in every situation, with every one trick, right? It's just like
Yeah.
I should be able to figure things out as well. But sometimes like if it's clearly just not working, and I'm like on the verge of like tilting, then I'll just okay,
Sure.
like, all right, okay, I'll cut it, like just switch. It's fine. Like I can figure it out like another game.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah. Most
Okay.
often it's like death ball is like the thing that I have issues with
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do. Like all the damage I do, like doesn't matter what angle I take, instantly healed up. Supports are never far enough away for me to do anything. So I'll just go Squirrel Girl, and then like that's easy because people are still grouping up. I don't even do, I'm just like clicking into this mass of people, and like it works out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I mean, that definitely works because your damage pressure output's a lot higher. But I think the thing that Psylocke still has is that you can still take a superior angle, right, compared to Squirrel Girl. You might do
Yeah,
slightly less poke damage,
for
but
sure.
if you take a superior angle, you're going to be able to put more poke damage on targets in a much more inconvenient angle, and crucially in a way that they cannot avoid it. So that's the problem. Is like if you have your Squirrel Girl in your backline, like if they walk behind a wall, well, that's it, right? Psylocke, in
Yeah,
theory, you could take an angle that Skull Girl can't take, and there's a world here where we're not just talking about like effective damage. You might literally do more damage than a Skull Girl because of the angle that you can take, where you deny their cover and so on. So, and it might even be like, hey, when I pop my ultimate, I guarantee get a support ult on the death ball. Where Skull Girl, it's like, maybe not, right? Maybe not.
yeah.
So, um,
I mean, there's still for sure a lot of variance. I think with like the like team skill level in Diamond because
yeah.
you can still grind your way, like with inflation. So there have been a few games where I'm just like, okay, like I don't think there's anything I could have done there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, again, my point being with the same thing with you running into flankers or whether you're playing into death ball or whether they're peeling you or not. The question is, it's not whether I can get picks or not because that might just not be the answer. But can I still put out a lot of pressure, force CDs, force attention,
Yeah,
force
yeah,
distractions, force support ults? And the answer is yes. I think that Psylocke actually compared to I might be wrong with this one, but my gut says compared to some of the other flankers, she's probably a lot better versus Deathball and so on. Because unlike Black Panther, unlike Spider-Man, you can actually do neutral pressure from an angle. We talked about this in our last review, right? Like it isn't all just a one shot. Like you can actually burn tanks. Like you actually have, you know, damage from range. Like you don't have to be in their grill, right? Like I watch like high level Iron Fist and you're just praying that they give you attention, right? Otherwise you just don't do anything. And I think like
yeah,
with Psylocke, you could just hold an angle and just melt, right? So yeah, it's going to get healed back up again, but that's in combination with everything else that your team is doing. There's a possibility there of your pressure actually mattering, but that's kind of a longer conversation, but we'll talk about it more. Okay, so you want to get into the review here?
Sure, sure, yeah. I know
Uh,
we spent a lot of time on discussion, so if we, you have to cut the session in the middle of the VOD,
yeah,
then
yeah.
that's
I mean,
fine.
we'll run at least a few minutes over if we can. See if we can get this here. So let's take a look here. Now, why this one? Is this one of the Deathball ones, one of the Peel ones, one of the server admin diver on my backline ones?
I okay, so I actually don't quite remember.
Yeah.
I picked this one because I remember, just feeling like I was underperforming. I didn't really know what to do at
Wait,
times.
wait. Are you in Rocket here? Are we looking at support? Or are we?
Oh, hang on.
Wait,
Sorry,
you got Psylocke on the you got Psylocke, but it's only for half the VOD. I mean, I don't mind. It could still be good to look at. It's your choice.
um, yeah. We take a look at the back half.
Yeah,
I have like
let's
a
do it.
lot of, I had like a lot of VODs, like a lot of losses where I just like, I was playing poorly for whatever reason, and I couldn't
Yeah.
quite figure out why. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
just
Sounds good.
yeah.
Well, you can't lose the fart and balls. Let's just pray that that doesn't happen. Or McLuven. That would be disastrous. Okay. What angle are we gonna take here? Poke, 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 poke. Sure. So this is kind of where like you're kind of on an angle right now based off of how your strange is rotated. Do you see this? So like if this penny wants to get, is this a penny? Yeah, it's a weird skins here. The penny wants to give you attention. She has to kind of turn away from your strange. So really here, you don't need to do literally anything outside of hold on your primary and alternate fire, basically. Just keep shooting.
I
gonna
okay.
be
This is what I'm
real-
talking about.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I
I'm gonna
know.
make a prediction. I'm gonna make a prediction. I think it's Iron Fist. I think it's Iron Fist. Yeah, it's Iron Fist. I'm like, where is your team? I actually don't even know where the rest of your team is. I don't know where your
okay.
Oh, your
Yeah,
Mantis is dead. Your Mantis is dead. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, that's it. That's all there really is to it. You and your stranger like W King 4, but it's actually just you two versus these four. That's why.
I think Iron Fist just wiped our backline while
So-
we were kind of.
Yeah, so this is one as you're just staggered. There's really no way of looking at it. Like your angle was decent, your poke was decent, but you guys were down 2 just even walking up there. So yeah, you killed. Good. Poke him out. Yeah, and this is where you could be like, oh, I could chase this, right?
Yeah,
I was
and
self
seen
this up.
more, and then
Yeah, you're just too late.
yeah,
with the,
yeah.
Too late with the
I thought I
disengage.
had a dash, and yeah,
Because this is
But-
just
well, this is what
immediate
I'm-
stealth. Immediate stealth out.
yeah. This is what I'm talking about. It's like this game, and basically like this session, I had, oh god, it was so bad. I had like a, not like a, it wasn't like a streak, like a loss streak, but it was, I played like 10 games, I won like 3 of them. It would be like lose 2, win 1, lose 2, win 1. And I just like started playing progressively. It felt like worse.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. But yeah.
Well, I mean, everything revolves back to training habits, right? Like your ability to take breaks when you need to, your ability to warm up, your ability to take a step away from your PC when you feel like you're just getting distracted and not playing well. I mean, that's a skill. Right?
Yeah.
And we're not even like conspiracy theorying with the matchmaking with this one. This is just, hey, you should probably take a break, because even in perfect matchmaking, streaks happen, whether it's bad teammates or teammates that are underperforming or you underperforming, right? There's a lot of variables at play, and like you just freaking died here. And so when you're like, okay, why am I playing poorly here? Generally the answer is not to grit your teeth and play harder, you know? It's like, take a break. How did I sleep? How stressed am I? How long have I been playing? Am I frustrated? Am I tilted? Am I distracted? Am I annoyed? You know? Is this a bad matchup for me? Is this like, for example, do I really struggle versus Namor? I'm not saying that you do, but maybe I'm not as comfortable with this matchup, so I should probably be a little bit more analytical and try to improve this matchup for me, right? Like these are the things that you need to be considering, right? Because even if the matchmaker has it out for you, this is still a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry, real quick. I remember there's actually there's a better VOD.
Yeah, we can do it. Let's do it.
You think we could switch? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So this one, this one. Did I send it? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was like, there was like a Bucky Punisher combo, and I just felt completely outclassed. Like I could do nothing. It felt like.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look then. hate how it always pivots the thing here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so angle here is fine. So I'll be honest with you. This is more of like an angle thing. I like this angle like on paper, but I don't like the range that you're playing this angle. I think with Psylocke, playing more of a poke angle is fine, but it's probably better versus fatter hitboxes. So basically, you've been given this lane for free, okay? If you wanted to help with the Punisher Bucky, then you would have been here, and you would have been applying pressure from, like, you would have been kind of jiggle peeking here and just been a nuisance here. Really good, right? But you've not. You've gone the other way. But that's good, too, because this lane is not contested at all. You see this? This is complete free real estate. So you chose to stop here and poke an invisible woman. That sucks. She's just going to knock you away and tickle you, right? If you were to continue with this lane, where do you go? With the space that you've been given, what's the play?
I guess I'd probably move forward, like
I think so too.
Right, like towards the strange. Yeah,
I think either
Invisible Woman's not going to do anything to me.
So basically, here's what you do. You got a choice here. You either hold the angle here and poke on either strange or turret because this is nice and juicy, right? Or you ready? You needed to deepen your flank. You needed to go assassinate the Invisible Woman. You need to go around here. This is your advantage versus this target.
Right.
You're not going to outpoke her. Not realistically. Like, you're going to have to hit every single shot, and that's basically impossible if she knows how to actually strafe, right? It's not possible, right?
Yeah.
And the reason that we're saying that is because, well, the angle's free. Now, if there was the strange, if let's say the Winter Soldier and Punisher were here, well, then you do exactly what you're doing right now. That's it. Your angle here is fine. Like, I guess my point being is that your choice of choosing this lane blindly is totally fine. What you do with what you see is the problem here.
Right.
Because you're going to get poked out just a little bit. You're going to have to go all the way back. And then, I don't hate what you did there, but third-person moment and destructible environment moment, so now you've lost the angle. And I don't hate this, but there's not enough teeth here. You know what I'm saying? You're a mild inconvenience, and then you get poked out, and then you can't get healed, and then you're downtime, and then you're stuck in the wall in destructible environment, and everything's chaos, and you're doing absolutely nothing. GG's go next. This sucks. This sucks. So basically what happened is your initial choice of this space that is on our screen right now was fine. Good choice. Now where do you go? Do you poke strange? Do you rotate to backline? You made the wrong choice. You made the wrong choice.
Okay.
You sat there and poked out a target that's going to poke you out easier than you are. Like, would you do this if this was a Hawkeye? No, you'd never. Hela? No, never, right? You deepen and try to flank on them. What's your advantage versus Invisible Woman? It's not your poke, it's your combo. It's your ability to get in their face. It's your dash. You get what I'm saying? That's the tool that you have to use. Now, if you'd run into a Hulk here or a Penny Parker, you're probably going to absolutely smoke them. See, like, I think you're kind of feeling it again, right? It's like, man, what am I supposed to do? So the Punisher Winter Soldier combo might be very effective, but the real takeaway here is that you have been a complete waste of space here. Okay, so what's the play here? I like this angle. I mean, you're still probably going to lose this fight. What's the play?
I mean, by default, I'd probably like poke a bit until they notice me and then just get out. Okay.
Like I think given where you're at right now and given the status of your cooldowns, I want to see some sauce. Look how close you are. Look at the bottom right. Look at your cooldowns. This is a primary fire, alt fire, primary fire dash, or primary fire, alt fire dash, primary fire stealth, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have the angle for it. You have the target for it. You have 3 targets that you can actually go with this. It needs to happen. I mean, you got to go, right? You got to go.
Yeah.
That's okay. Little detail here. Dash up on your rollout, just a tiny bit, 25-degree angle. Helps. From what I understand, it helps you to conserve your momentum a little bit.
A little bit of momentum.
Yeah. But don't immediately stealth. Wait till your feet touch the ground before you stealth.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to actually choose to deal with the problem on the right side. Works for me. Let's see how you do it. Sure. Your poke actually matters from here. Now you deepen your angle because they're getting too far away. You notice that? So you rotate. Oh no, you pause.
No,
why should you rotate? We keep talking about how good Psylocke. No, but hang on. We keep talking about how good Psylocke's poke is, but it's situational. What has changed? When is Psylocke's poke good? When is Psylocke, let's say by poke 25, 30 meters, 20 meters, whatever. When is it good? On what is it good?
Uh, like big targets, I
Big
guess,
targets.
or
That's it, right? It's as stupid as that, right? Really big fat targets. So you just kind of shot down a clump. Nice job. But now you're gonna do jack all, right? Nothing.
yeah.
Absolutely nothing. So your rotation needs to be here. Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
I don't know why I backed up.
Now,
Yeah.
this is the crucial thing here. What's going to happen is you're going to go versus these death ball comps that you described, and you're going to run into stuff here, and they're going to peel it off, and they're going to back off, and they're going to peel you, and they're going to force you out. That's fine. So you cycle back, you wait for your cooldowns, so you go to your team and you poke, you get your cooldowns, you go for another cycle, and then you go back to your team and you go poke, you poke. And just the act of threatening this team, this backline, is what's going to allow your tank trade to win, even if you don't get the kill. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what makes Psylocke unique, is that you could go for that backline burst like an Iron Fist, like a Spider-Man, like a Black Panther. And yeah, maybe you're not quite as good as they are at it, at least as consistent. But those characters, when they're done with their cycle, they literally AFK, you don't. You can take a soft angle and poke until you get your next cooldown cycle. So like what you're doing now is you're acting as if you have 0 cooldowns. You see what I'm saying? You're acting as if you have 0 cooldowns, but you don't. You have stealth, you have double dash. What the frick are you doing? You see what I'm saying? Like, look at the ult charge here. Like, this is, like, you are way behind. That's a little better there. This is a little better. Like, we're getting some good chunks here. Good use of your combo there. Obama will clutch it for you. Trust Obama. Obama will win.
Yeah.
The names are crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Again, this is fine. I mean, Strange is just coming in from the top ropes, so this is going to be kind of scary. But, I mean, you have your cooldowns. You have the angle here. You might as well.
Yeah. I'm like waiting for them to push in.
Yeah, so this is kind of a weird situation here. So you're looking at this and you're like, man, what the heck am I supposed to do? They actually rotated the entire team away from my angle, right? That feels really bad. Okay, so this is where you can comfort yourself with one little thing. If they all rotate through here, this means that their composition is way less lethal to your team. Because the thing that kills your team is somebody takes an angle and sneaks behind this way, right? If I was playing Winter Soldier, I'm 100% wrapping around this side at the same time as my team is pushing through here. Well, guess what? That's your responsibility then. Now, they don't do that, so what should you do?
Well, I shoot the rocket thing first, and I figure out I'm probably going to go around the back. Yeah. Oh, no.
You don't. You see it? You see it? You had the right... It's funny. Your instincts are correct here. You have full CDs. You need to get here. You need to go for a cycle here. At least just to distract and scare the crap out of people, right? And what do?
Yeah.
You don't. You fall back and you play...
because my team died.
So who cares? Who cares? This fight is lost. Get a trade. Clutch it. You're not going to clutch it from this, right? Like, you dying is not the end of the world. Nobody cares, right? Go die.
Right.
Go get a trade. Go make a play.
Okay.
This is meaningless. Like, this is... Again, you're playing as if you don't have CDs, and you do, consistently. So I've liked the fact that you're kind of playing angles. Like, it's good. But you're playing consistently like these long poke angles versus squishies, even when you have CDs. And you're not using the angle of the space that you have. And that's why this Winter Soldier and Punisher are running your team overs, but not because of some like inherent strategic ignorance that you have. It's because they're just doing things and you're not. That's it. It's funny because you're even telling yourself what you expect yourself to do, and then you don't do it. And you're like, wait, why didn't I do that? So it's like, like you see it. Like, you absolutely see it. Like, okay, you're uncontested once again. So you're just going to walk on the back line and do whatever you want. This is where you're kind of realizing the distance a bit of a problem. So what are your solutions here? From, like, let's say that you give yourself another 5 seconds here. What could you do? Give me a couple of options here. Let's actually go back just a tad bit.
Yeah. I think like just going on like a deeper flank to the right.
Yeah.
Going left and sort of like regrouping with the team. I know there's like one or two people going to the left.
You could shorten your angle here. You could shorten your angle here. You could absolutely even use a dash to just rotate and go for a tighter angle here. You're noticing that what we're looking for and what you're giving us is distance. You're avoiding proximity, which is really hurting you, right? At least versus these squishies, right? So this is not a bad angle fundamentally, but it's not a complete result because you're 20 meters away, 15 meters away.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. You need to close the distance here or here or here or somewhere, and then use your cooldown, cycle out, do it again, right? It's just not going to work. Like, even though you're hitting a couple of shots there, it's like 50 damage, 60 damage. It's not even much of a distraction, right? They're kind of ignoring you. And they should. You're not a threat.
Yeah.
This is better because it's a turret, so it's like pretty easy to hit your shots there. But like, my goodness, even just the fact that you're doing this here and not doing this here is like, it's painful to watch, right?
Yeah.
Judge, jury, executioner.
Sure. Yeah, it's good. Good stuff. Dash into the combo from the angle, support ult forced, and you get a trade. You have your CDs. Where should your rotation be from where you're at right now? Small adjustment. Fix it.
Yeah, move up to the right. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, every single time you're nailing it. Every single time I ask you that question, you know the answer. Just get to here. Just get to here. Get a little bit closer. A little bit better angle. It's also easier to land your stickies when they're kind of looking. You're kind of approaching it from the side. You know.
Yeah.
Just a little bit closer. You're thinking too much about
I think I'm a
appeal.
little scared here.
Yeah. You're thinking too much about helping your backline, and then notice that, like, oh my, this is like Christmas for you. I mean, look at this, right? Any of this. This is, again, like, how many times has your stealth been forced here? Not a single time. That's the first time right there. Like, really, it feels like that. So yeah, you've just basically been AFK. I think that's the best way of looking at it. So let's talk about, like, I've been beating you over the head a little bit here, but here are the good things, okay? I have liked on paper some of your initial setups, and you're definitely thinking about angles, which I think is really nice. The problem is that you're not, even when you have CDs, you're not actually pushing your angles for a cycle. You're playing way too far, and you're tickling. It's kind of coincidental because I actually just coached a Tracer player prior to this session. They're a lot better at it now, but our initial session, he was really bad at doing what you're doing now, but with Tracer. He'd take like a flank and just tickle people from like 25 meters, and they would just kind of ignore him. It's kind of what's happening with you. Remember, the range is your advantage versus bigger targets, kind of like you said. Your proximity is your advantage versus those closer, the squishies, essentially, most of the time. So you have cooldowns, take an angle, go for a cycle, go back, poke, get your cooldowns, go for a cycle, go back and poke, over and over and over and over and over again. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. But in general, like, I think you're a little bit more angle pilled, and so even though it's not been executed super well, like, you're doing pretty good. So where should you be now?
Oh yeah, this map is always like, I always have trouble on this map because it's so open.
It's I'm gonna be honest, it's a poorly designed map. This one is particular. It doesn't give you good options.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, I guess like usually what I do on this map is like up top, you know, like there's the initial engage, you trade poke, and then I'll try and like drop down.
Yeah.
Just because there's no cover up here.
Yeah. So let me give you some feedback here. So because there isn't a good choice, you either go low risk, low reward, which is kind of what you're doing right now, which is just kind of poke frontline and don't really take any crazy risks. Like this AoE hook is brutal, right? Your other option is to go crazy crack cocaine, high risk, high reward flank, which would be burn your dash, burn your stealth, just roll out as fast as you possibly can to, I wish I could sprint here, this is way too slow, to like here or here, and then set up your jump pad, go for your combo, and kind of live on backline until they drop the point. Then you can play it honest. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So you either full on poke frontline, or you just full in backline. Like staged, you blow your dashes, blow your stealth, sneak behind and kind of lurk, and then go for something crazy. Because there isn't really a good choice from the way that you're doing things right now. As you said, when the fight breaks out on point, it's much easier. There's like a lot better cover, there's a lot better angles, but for right now, this just doesn't feel all that good. Just to consider. Because remember, the proximity. We want proximity, and we want proximity at an angle right now. And obviously, like, this just feels like the worst of both worlds. It doesn't feel useful, and it also feels dangerous. And we're kind of, once again, in a situation, we're kind of poking here. And even the angle that we did take was way too easy to see. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is where things are going to start feeling a lot better. You have your CDs. Where should you be? Small adjustment.
I think probably just down to the left. There's like a squishy that went over there, I think.
Just kind of like over here, you know? Or you could just drop this way or drop on the raccoon. Your choice. You could go break the res. Like you have all this space here. you can absolutely poke tank here, and that's fine. But again, this is something that you would choose to do either because they have a front line that you can really burn, or because you don't have CDs. You do have CDs, so you need to be going for your cycle. You see the problem here? The problem is you're acting as if you don't have CDs and you do. It's the same thing.
Right. Yeah, just
like this right here.
burden.
Yeah, this is it. This is it right here. Now it's a little bit unfortunately timed because you didn't quite get your. Well, you got your shurikens. Yeah, see, this is useful.
Oh, yeah,
this is. But see, this is useful. You don't die here.
Mm-hmm.
He pushes into you. You need to immediately dash through him. Maybe dash again, stealth out. Like you look at this from like I'm just gonna let this play for a few more seconds before I yap. Like that is useful. I want you to look at the HP bars on your screen. Do you see what you've done?
Right. Yeah.
You've taken a lot of resources. Right. You've won the duel by taking more damage than he did. So he's in serious trouble. He's given up space. They've backed up as a whole. Supports are now focusing on backing themselves off and pocking the Punisher. He actually has to pop his ultimate just to keep himself alive. This was a good angle from you. And this has been, what, 6, 7, 8 seconds of pressure. And now, because you don't have CDs, what can you do now?
We'll probably just like keep poking, I guess.
Yeah, exactly what you're doing right now. Do you see it? This is perfect.
Yeah.
This is what we're missing, right? Like you take an angle, a really aggressive short angle, you blow your CDs, you maybe do or don't get the combo, you scared the crap out of the Invisible Woman, you almost killed her. You also scared the crap out of the Punisher, almost killed him, got out, and the best part is that compared to all the other flankers, you're actually still contributing. Not a lot, but you're contributing. Right? Look at this. This is good. I would even use my shurikens. Like, I would 100% use my shurikens here because you're going to get them back in time by the time you get closer to your double dash, right? So I would just throw my shurikens. I'd keep primary firing. And then in the next, like, 6, 7 seconds, start to set up my cycle. But I would not put myself in the middle of point. That was the problem. So where would your rotation be here? I want you to stay here and poke, 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 shurikens, poke, 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 wall fire, shoot, shoot, shoot. And then 5, 6 seconds from now, where do you go?
Yeah, probably to the left. Just
you nailed it.
Go through
you
the
nailed
team,
it.
burn
You nailed
cooldowns,
it. Get your cooldown cycle. You know, bam. Go back and do it again. Perfect. You nailed it. Not here. Not here. Don't chase a target. Hold your angle. I mean, you literally just. This is so stressful, right? Avoid the middle. Honestly, mate, you've done a really good job scouting out where you needed to be. You should. I know it's frustrating games like these, but you've done a really good job coaching yourself so far. So, yeah, all it comes down to is execution here. Is all this make sense for you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's keep going. Okay, you have your cooldowns. I wouldn't even mind using stealth this stage here if it feels really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't think I was in the mindset of using stealth to save.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. This is well timed. Did you guys just pop portal? I don't. Yeah, you did. Okay, so this is an engagement. I mean, this is good, right? You're coming in from a close angle. You have CDs. Oh frick.
Oh, I remember this. Oh yeah, so
Invisible Woman.
Invisible Woman. I forgot.
Okay.
Like she can push me away. Yeah, I thought it was like a free kill on the rocket because.
I don't know the details here. I'm going to admit ignorance. Maybe this is something that is worth going for, but part of me is also like, could you just go for a cooldown cycle first? Is that bad? I don't know.
Probably. Like, there wasn't anyone to peel, like, other than the Invisible Woman,
Gotcha.
I guess, but I saw the rocket and I was just like, I'm pretty sure he'd, like, use, like, 1 or 2 dashes, so...
Gotcha.
Could have been easy, I think, to get him, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we need you on an angle right now. This is. Look at your CDs. Look at where you're at. Right. You need to be way deeper left or right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you were addressing that here, which is good. But this is still. Yeah. This is so. You're so cowardly. Right. You need to. You need to put pressure out. Kill or not, you need to be a threat. And that's it. Right. That's it. You missed your opportunity.
Yeah.
You missed your opportunity. It's just you again. I'm gonna sound like I'm beating a dead horse here, but like you act as if you don't have CDs in the angles that you take, even when you do. Same thing here, right? Where should your rotation be? Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. You've been like 10 out of 10 for coaching your positioning. Let's see if you're 11 out of 11. Where should you be? No
Yeah,
pressure.
like just dropping down to the left behind
Yeah.
the wall,
Yeah.
getting
Oh,
closer,
oh,
or yeah,
congrats.
or even up there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Just 11 out of 11. Yeah, nice shot. I mean, even like you said, above the wall. Yeah, exactly. 11 out of 11. We're cooking. This is a good angle if you don't have CDs. Is kind of the way to look at it, right? You go for your cycle, you
Yeah.
look for an opportunity, and then you do exactly what you're doing right now. Where you're doing damage, you're not taking a lot of damage, decent tank pressure, love to see it, but you have not pressed Shift or E since like, 2008. And so therefore, if you're doing what you're doing, basically here's what I would say. What you just did there, Winter Soldier's infinitely better at.
yeah,
But Winter Soldier can't go for a flank combo and backline and then retreat back to a position and poke, right? So Winter Soldier has to be better than you. He has to be better than you. Otherwise, he's useless, right? So you have the luxury of kind of leaning into both cycles of pressure. You go for a flank cycle, then you go back and you pressure from the angle. Now I'm gonna wrap this up with a question: Why? Why? Because we gotta Freud you. We gotta put you under the psychoanalysis. At least this game here, why were you so hesitant to take the cooldown cycle angles and felt more into I don't have cooldown, so this is how I'm playing? Like what was going through your head? Do you remember?
So yes, I think by this game, so I'd already been like down like a 10 to like 12 game like win streak, and
Yes.
but I was noticing like towards the end, like the last few games I played had started to become harder.
Yes.
Because like everyone on the enemy team was just playing tighter, like they're smarter, react more quickly, like that. Yeah, that invisible woman like just like pushing me away like as I ulted, like that also just like surprised the shit out of me. So I was respecting the Punisher and the Bucky a lot, and I probably giving them too much space, to the detriment of my own rotations, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was scared. I was definitely scared.
Yeah. Your respect is killing you. It's killing you. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're like, I'm not good enough, and then you exactly behave like you're not good enough. If you take one of those angles and you get your head blown off because you screwed up, get better. Do it again. If it's the right play, and I think that's kind of like where I can kind of step in and I can kind of encourage you and be like, hey, it is the right play, even if it doesn't always work. You just need to get better at it, right? But that ultimately needs to be your confidence in yourself, not to necessarily always mechanically perform it, but hey, I know this is the right play. Even if I don't do it consistently, I know I might die more often. I kind of little red flag went off in my brain when you were talking about how much fewer times you're dying recently. I was like, I wonder why. And again, the cycle is that like you need to play your range. You go for your cooldown cycle up close, not practice like point blank, 5-10 meters, right? And then you go back and you poke from the front line on a side angle, and then you do it again and again and again and again. So when you have cooldowns, are you getting your cycle? And don't be scared. Even if you die, it's the right play. Because you kind of saw here, I mean, how many times did you die? Twice, right? You didn't really die very often, but you guys got steamrolled. You were down a duelist, frankly. Would you rather get immediate feedback on your failure through taking risks, or would you rather just kind of vaguely not be obviously the problem? I don't know. That's kind of my challenge for you. Yeah. It's not that you need to be going out of your way to dying or feeding or whatever. You just need to follow the cycle of Psylocke. And if you fail at the execution, that's okay. Do it again. If you fail the execution, that's okay. Do it again, right? Oh, I want to highlight that one fight when you actually close the distance on Invisible Woman. You failed the combo, but you got close. Punisher pushed you, but your cover usage was excellent. You had double cooldowns to get out. You got him to 1 HP as well. You almost killed him. And then you went back on an angle and poked Tank, and you poked the Punisher in his ultimate and did some decent damage from that. That was like perfect. That was the absolute perfect execution of Psylocke right there. I want to frame that and hold it on the wall, right? Do that again and again and again and again. Close the distance, go for a combo, go for distraction, force some resources. Again, you didn't get the kill on either target, but you guys still won the trade off of that because you forced the CDs, you forced the distraction. And then go back and pressure Tank until you get your CDs back again. Go again.
Right. Okay.
That's it.
I'll remember that.
Trust the process. Trust the process of what you're doing. Don't trust yourself to do it consistently, but just trust that even an idiot, right, can do it enough times. Even a moron like me can do it enough times. It works. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make
Okay,
sense?
Got it. Yes, it does.
Okay.